Okay, students, very good evening. My name is Sunny, as you can see on the screen. Okay, there are a lot of students joining us today. For those who are new, please look at the screen. The first and foremost, are you able to see the screen? All right, thumbs up. Are you able to hear me clearly? All right, okay. If it's crystal clear, it's good. All right, before we actually kickstart, you can look at the house rules. Pretty basic functions. If you want to chat, you can either talk to me or use the chat function, whichever way suits you. And if you want to take a toilet break, you can use the chat function as well, or just let me know whichever way you want it to be. And the rest are rather straightforward stuff. Be mindful, respect all your friends here. That's about it, all right? And for those who are new, welcome. Happy to see you people. Okay, today's topic, we are looking at simultaneous equations. Not difficult, but could be tricky. And there are two methods you'll be deploying. One is elimination method. The other one is substitution method, okay? All right. Okay, before we start our lesson proper, let me do a recap of last week's lesson, all right? So for those who are not here, were not there last week, let's sit back and absorb this. We did linear equations last week, straight line graph. So I'm just going to do a quick recap on what we did last week, about 5 minutes. Just look at the screen and you guys should be all right. Okay, let me plot. Okay. Okay, this is your x-axis. This is your y-axis. Let's have 1, 2. You can label them. This will be -1, -2. The vertical line, which is heading downwards, -1. Let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I'm labeling them. So the vertical side, this is your y-axis, all right? Not x. Sorry. So your vertical side represents your y-axis, your horizontal represents your x-axis. So straight line equation is given by y equals to mx plus c. For those who are not sure, it's all right, learn. M means gradient of the line, which means slope of the line, all right? Slope of steepness, all right? Slope of the line. All right? C, what does C stands for? Y-intercept. It refers to the line which cuts the y-axis. Anyway, I'll be plotting one and you will see it clearly, right? Okay, let's say I'll do the first line. I'll get a ruler if I can. So that I've drawn a line. It's a straight line. This is your y-intercept. So y-intercept this point here, right? This is where the straight line cuts the y-axis. So in this case, your c equals to 4. That's your y-intercept. What is your m? M is your gradient. There's a formula for this. M equals to y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. You got to use your coordinates, all right? What's your coordinates at this point? Your x value is 0, your y is 4. At this point, your x is 2, y is 0. All right, these are the coordinates, x and y values. So what happens next? If I ask you to find the gradient, you can deploy the formula. You can use this formula, right? You can call this, let me highlight this. You can call this x1, y1, x2, y2. Or the other way around, it's up to you, whichever way, all right? Okay, and the shortest cut, of course, that's a shortcut, but I'll teach you that later. So let's say we deploy the formula to find the gradient, all right? So this is the formula. So what is y1? y1 is 4 minus, what's y2? y2 is 0. What is x1? x1 is 0. What is y x2. It is 2. So you have 4 over minus 2. Therefore, your gradient is minus 2. So I've already found the gradient. Therefore, the equation of these lines can be y equals to minus 2x plus 4. Okay. So done. This is what we did last week. But a few more things you need to know. If this line is sloping downwards, the gradient will always be negative. Remember that. All right. It's sloping downwards from left to right. The gradient will always be negative. Okay, so remember that. And I'm going to draw another line. Maybe I'll do black. I'll do another line like this. And okay, it's pretty bad, sorry. It's a bit sensitive, so sometimes you get this, it's all right. You saw this line? It's cutting the y-axis at 2 and it's cutting the x-axis at minus 2. So what happens there? Same thing. You know the equation of the line is y equal mx plus c. So therefore, c is going to be 2. So y equals to e to mx. Oh, it's gone. Sorry. I'll do it again. That's better. It works. So y equals to mx plus 2. 2 is your y-intercept, which is represented by c. What about the gradient? Same thing. You can write down the coordinates. In this case, it's going to be minus 2 and y will be 0. In this case, your x is 0, y is 2. So you plug it in, use this formula. You should be able to get the gradient. But I also taught this shortcut to find the gradient. If your graph, if your line cuts the y and x axis, so you just find the distance from 0 to 2 on the y-axis and the distance from this point to 0 on the x-axis. So what's the movement here? How many units? You got 2 units of movement here. And likewise, you have 2 units of movement on the x-axis. So shortcut, y equals to y, the movement on y over the movement of x. So it's going to be 2 divided by 2, which gives you 1. So in this case, your gradient is going to be y equals to x plus 2. All right, but for you to remember, this line is sloping upwards from left to right. So if it's moving from left to right, your gradient will always be positive, plus, all right? So that's why I got 1 here. You see, it's plus 1, right? So these are things you need to remember. So if you do remember, you should be able to do most of the questions. Remember the formula to find gradient, what is y-intercept, the movement, and even sometimes they ask you to find the area. Remember, your area will be in unit square, not cm or meter square, all right? So this is what we did last week. For those who are on board, a simple review of what we did last week, but this is quite informative. If you can take it down, it's good. Otherwise, just listen, all right? Okay, let's move on. Okay, today's lesson. Simultaneous equations by elimination method and substitution method. Shortcut method is rise over run. Yeah, you can do that. It's always, if you want to find the gradient, is the units of movement on the y-axis over the movement on the x-axis. You can do that, but it's not applicable in all situations. It has to cut the y-axis and x-axis. But the safest would be to use the formula, all right? M equals to y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So that's the best. That's the safest. It takes a longer time, but it's good. All right. Okay. Thanks for the question, Chino. All right. This question. Have you guys started on simultaneous equations in school? Anyone? You can talk to me. Yes. Wow. Nice. Rudra, you have done it. Well done. Okay. Wesley, yes. Okay. Chan, yes. How about the rest? Okay, I'll do the first one for you. We're going to use elimination method. Okay, what can we do? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to eliminate x. So all the terms with x will be eliminated. So what can we do? We have 4x minus 3y equals to 5. We have 3x plus 5y equals to 11. So the first thing you need to do will be you call this equation 1. Hang on. Just a minute, it's a bit sensitive. Call this equation 1, you call this equation 2. If you want to get rid of the x's, you're going to make both 12x, right? So first equation times 3. Second equation times 4. So when you do that, you'll get 12x minus 9y equals to 15 and 12x plus 20y equals to 44. You saw that? You can label this as equation 3 and equation 4. So what you want to do now? You can either have equation 3. Why is it times 3 and times 4? Because you want to eliminate 4x. You want to make the x's the same, 4x and 3x. What's your lowest common multiple? 12, right? So 4, 3, you get 12. So you make this into 12. So if you multiply the first equation by 3, you will get 12x. And if you multiply the second equation by 4, you get this, all right? You see what I've done? So now the next step is you want to eliminate the x's, right? You got 12x and 12x. You can either have equation 3 minus equation 4 or 4 minus equation 3. I'm going to say with equation 4 minus 3, all right? So equation 4 minus equation 3. So I'll just do it up. 12x minus 12x. You look at this, all right? 12x minus 12x, you get 0. Then you get 20y minus 9y equals to 44 minus 15. So what do you get? 29y equals to 29. Good. But it's not negative, all right? Remember, minus and minus gives you plus. So 20 minus 9y is the same as 20 plus 9, 20y plus 9y, all right? So you get this. Therefore, y equals to 29 divided by 29, of course, equals to 1. So you have found the answer for 1. And I'm going to call this 5. Label it as 5. And the next step, I'm going to substitute this substance was substitute, all right? Substitute 5 into one of the equations. Let's say into 1. Equation 1, all right? This is equation 1. So I know y is 1. So it's going to be 4x minus 3. Y is equals to 1. So 1 equals to 5. So it's going to be 4x minus 3 equals to 5. Therefore, 4x equals to 5 plus 3. You bring it over. When you do that, it becomes negative, right? And that's why you get plus 3. Okay? So at this point, 4x equals to 8. Therefore, x equals to 8 divided by 4, which gives you 2. There you go. So This is the answer.